Welcome to the Wonder Woman of Aviation. I'm here at Beaufort Air Show, and I'm here with Liz Franklin. Liz is part of just Franklins Flying Circus. Before we get into a little bit about you, who is Franklins Flying Circus? For those that aren't really familiar with air shows, don't really know, or haven't had the pleasure of coming out here, can you describe, maybe in a little short blurb, what is Franklins Flying Circus?
So Franklins Flying Circus is a 3 generations of pilots in the Franklin family that have flown and done air shows for over 50 years in the air show industry.
Over 50 years, that's
over 50
amazing.
years.
So 50 years in the industry, but you're fairly new to the industry, something that I learned about, but you're new but not new. So let's go back to a little bit about who is Liz Franklin. I'm all about promoting women in aviation.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned about you was that you've actually kind of been in the industry since you were like yay high.
Yeah, so I have actually been going to Oshkosh since I was literally 3 years old, and I got to see all of these great aviators fly for many, many years before I got to meet them all and work with them in person. And as I got older, I was able to volunteer a little closer to the air show side and really get to meet these guys up and personal. And I ended up meeting Kyle Franklin, who is now my husband.
Yes.
Oshkosh is where I first saw him, and I watched him through my entire life. I've watched many of these pilots fly and become who they are today. And it's just truly amazing that now I get to work with them hand in hand and get to know their backstories even more than what I knew before.
Right.
And everything.
I think that's such a sweet story. You were telling me a little bit about your husband. So to see him perform in the air, did you ever think, okay, I'm seeing this pilot in the air, I'm gonna marry this guy?
Never in a million years did I think I was going to end up with an air show pilot, but I'm here to tell you I couldn't be happier. I am so happy in the industry and with Kyle, and it's a dream come true for me. It really is. I grew up wanting to be an air show pilot and wanting to be in this business to begin with.
Yeah.
So to be hands-on in the business with all of these performers is just phenomenal.
So you're in the business, but you're not just Kyle Franklin's wife. You are actually a pilot.
So I got my pilot's license down in Florida, and I had my written done already, but in the end it took me 14 days to get all of the flying done to get my private pilot's license. And I mean, I had some people tell me I couldn't do it, and I was right there telling them, watch me. And I did. In 14 days.
That's something I want to pursue, which I haven't, and I'm going to. And just talking to you, you've inspired me to actually want to pursue that. But for those that are interested in pursuing that, it's not really that difficult. I mean, 14 days.
It's not that difficult. You just got to crack down. You got to find the right instructor that fits your personality and your learning type more than anything.
Right.
And you got to block out that time. It's expensive and it's fast, but if you just set aside the time and the money, you can do it.
Right.
Anybody can do it.
That's a great piece of advice for those. Let's go back to the air show side. You mentioned that you wanted to be an air show pilot. Is that still something that you want to possibly pursue just a little bit? And if so, what type of plane?
So it's still possibly in the works for me to be in the air show industry, and I don't have a set airplane, but I will say that this Super Cub behind us is by far my favorite airplane all around the world.
The Super Cub.
The Super Cub. It is my favorite thing to fly. It is so fun, so wonderful, and I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for women and everybody.
Yes, we definitely need more women in aviation.
Yes.
Obviously, you are a big component of the act. Like, I honestly believe that we as air show, we're kind of the ground support for our spouses, our husbands. Like, you actually carry that role. So what is it that you do? And I know you briefly described it, like your personal role in the act.
So I help him get the airplane. One, we disassemble the airplane to truck it to each show, so I help him put the airplane back together. I'm obviously cleaning it, checking it. As a pilot myself, I want to make sure that it's mechanically safe for my husband. And when we get up to show center and stuff, I play the part of a pilot that is going to go out and give Ben Wabnowski a ride in my wonderful Super Cub. And then I have a bit of a glitch, so I get out and I check the tail wheel, and Well, he takes my airplane and he takes off flying, and he does some crazy stuff with it. Pretty much everything you're not supposed to do. But it's a really fun part of the act, and while he's out there doing crazy stuff, I'm out there waving my arms like a crazy lady trying to get my airplane back. And at the end, he falls out of the airplane and I get my airplane back.
I love it. I love the story. And there's so much more. Like what is the one message when you go to air shows, you do your routine, you want children to gain from, because there's always a message that we give to future aviators.
So we want to inspire the younger generation and let everybody know that they can do it. But the big message is don't steal anything, and definitely don't do it if you're drinking, because you will be caught.
Oh, absolutely. And this is just an act. Everyone is briefed. There's a lot of safety components involved. Everyone is aware of what's going on, but you make it, or both of you make it look so real. I love your act. For those of you that haven't seen Kyle and Liz's act, you can definitely Google it. Where can they find you?
If you go on franklinairshow.com or search Franklin Air Shows on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you can find us there. Okay. And you can find videos of what we do and kind of all the different setups and things that the Franklins have done for over the 50 years that we've been in the business. And
it sounds like you are definitely a part of that history. You're kind of breaking those glass ceilings for women in aviation, and you're part of that history. So when's your next show? For those that aren't here in Beaufort, where can they find you?
Want to find a link to our full schedule, go to franklinairshow.com.
So you are the future of aviation, which thank you for doing this. Thank you for being on the Wonder Woman of Aviation. Definitely check it out. And for those of you listening, stay tuned.